Hello. So on November 27, Leagues 5 is coming to Old School RuneScape, and it is my opinion. In fact, it is not even an opinion. This is just an objective truth. Varlamore is going to be the best first region in Leagues, and obviously this is my opinion, but I firmly believe this. This whole place is going to be goated. It's going to be great for your first region. They also have added Vardorvis in this part of the map in the Stranglewood. Vardorvis would be part of Zaya normally, like Karen, but for this league, Vardorvis is actually going to be part of Varlamore. And now I'm about to get into all the things that I can think of that make Varlamore especially worth it and why I'll be going with it as my first region pick. All right, so Vardorvis is going to be part of Varlamore, and this is huge because you'll get access to basically the best in slot mage robes that you can get access to. These robes are the same bonuses as Ancestral, except they are 2% a piece instead of 3%, and they have the best damage bonus for Ancients specifically. They have like 5% each, I think, so absolutely massive if you plan on going for the desert. There is an added thing here in that if you want anything better than Virtus, you'll have to unlock Karen for Chambers of Xeric to get Ancestral. Personally, I'm not a fan of Cox, but if you want to do that content, go ahead. Or you could just kill Vardorvis, so you have access to this right away. It's unlocked right away, which is very nice. You don't need any other region to fight Vardorvis or have Fremnik unlocked. You can just go ahead and start hitting him as soon as you get access to Varlamore. There is an added benefit to Vardorvis in that he can potentially give you the... If they didn't change everything from the previous league. In the previous league, all the Desert Treasure 2 bosses, they dropped each part of the Soul Reaper axe, so you only needed one of them in order to get the whole thing. So depending on the relics and the combat masteries that we'll have for this upcoming league, this could be absolutely massive for getting a Soul Reaper axe, which could be absolutely crushing for your overall account build. So I will definitely be hitting up Vardorvis to get the Virtus robes as well as the Soul Reaper axe, and we'll have to see exactly what else comes out before we can say more on how useful it will be. So that's huge. This time, Vardorvis is going to be part of Varlamore, and Varlamore is brand new to League, so that's a huge W for Varlamore in my opinion. Varlamore also has the ruins of Tapioca. No one actually knows how to pronounce any of these names. Tapoyawi, something like that. They're called ruins of Tapioca from now on. This is a dungeon that is unlocked after completing the new quest, Heart of Darkness, and it is very cool for the early game because it has a bunch of monsters listed here. They have cave crawlers, frost crabs, ice warriors, ice fiends, frost naguas. You'll be doing a lot of slayer here. Ice giants, ice spiders, chilled jellies, brutal blue dragons, baby blue dragons, and a Moxiato. So you'll have access to all the early game dragon bows that you'll need. You'll probably be able to safe spot them, but most importantly, when you kill these type of monsters, specifically the frost creatures, they have a fire weakness. They have 100% weakness against fire. So it's very good for training with fire spells instead of killing the Tazar monsters. Instead, with like Fire Wave or Fire Strike and stuff, you could come here and do double damage, which is very good for your early game XP. And all of the monsters have these properties, except I think the blue dragons, I'm not too sure. But everything else has these properties, which is very nice. And I think that's pretty much... Oh, yeah. So while you're doing the quest, if you're doing leagues like right away on day one, while you're doing the quest, you have access to an instance of the dungeon where you don't have all of these monsters necessarily readily available for you. However, the frost crabs are available for you, even in the instance. So it's basically like private early game training. Also another W. One of the other things is Perilous Moons with Varlamore. But it's not just the moons themselves, there's a bunch of other monsters involved. The Sulfur Naguas are a key one to look at. This is going to be the best early game melee training methods, and maybe even for range as well. I say this because they have a property called Flat Armor, where they actually have -4 flat armor. What this means is that whatever you hit is going to be +4 damage on top of whatever you hit. This is huge. If you have like a max hit of 10, you get max hit of like 14. Massive. However, it's not compelling enough by itself. They drop these things called Sulfur Blades, and Sulfur Blades are critical for this type of training method because they have double hit and they're accessible very early. With League's drop rates, you'll probably get these like 1 in 100. It'll be very quick. And then when you do a double hit with your Sulfur Blades, each successful hit you get is +4 damage, and they hit twice. So you're effectively getting +8 damage every time you pass accuracy with both of your hits with the Sulfur Blades. This is massive for the early game. It just will skyrocket your combat training leagues and leagues and leagues beyond. They also drop other things like some runes and ores, but they also drop Sulfurous Essence. If you didn't know, Sulfurous Essence actually is something you could trade into the Perilous Moons NPC spirit thing, and it actually gives you runecrafting XP. So you get passive runecrafting XP. The other massive thing with Sulfur Naguas is that they're part of the Perilous Moons dungeon, and within this dungeon you basically have infinite supplies as an Iron Man. You can make your own potions that act as both prayer and super combat potions, depending on your herb lore level, and depending on your cooking level you also get access to unlimited food, which is also pretty massive because you can use your hunter to catch all the various lizards there. Okay, so Sulfur Naguas, very cool, very essential for early game progression. And then there's another variant that was released with Varlamore Part 2. They're called Frost Naguas. Frost Naguas are pretty cool in that they are magic based, but they act similarly to Sulfur Naguas in that they also have -4 flat armor. Oh, I should also mention that both Sulfur Naguas and Frost Naguas have the spectral attribute. This is neat, but not critical. It's neat because if you get the ectoplasmer, which is a thing you can get from Soul Wars, it's basically a bone crusher for spirits, and both Sulfur Naguas and Frost Naguas count as spirits. So you can gain not only runecrafting XP, but also passive prayer XP while you're killing them. Very nice. Another huge W. So the Frost Naguas, they drop something similar to the Sulfur Blades, if I can find it, the Glacial Tumulti. And these things are basically Sulfur Blades but with Crush. Sulfur Blades have Slash, these things have Crush. You're going to want to get these for Perilous Moons because the bosses have weaknesses of different style. The Blood one's weak to Slash, so you use Sulfur Blades on that. The Blue Moon is weak to Crush, so you would use these Glacial Tumultis on that. And they also drop Blessed Bone Shards, so just another way to get additional prayer XP for when you get your Sunfire Splinters. With Varlamore's release, there's a new way to train prayer that involves like Blessed Sun Wines or something like that, in which you use these Blessed Bone Shards with a jug of wine and like Sunfire Splinters. It is very good prayer XP. So you will, when you unlock this first region for Varlamore, you will be relying on Blessed Bone Shards for a majority of your prayer XP. It's I don't remember if I read this correctly or if I'm recalling it correctly. I think that Soul Wars is not how it was previous, where you could just like farm it for a bunch of combat XP. So getting prayer XP is going to be notably more difficult if you don't have access to things like pest control. So in this case, Varlamore acts as a great gateway into your prayer XP. Almost everything you do here will get you some form of banked prayer XP. Very cool. I guess they also drop prayer potions. That's pretty neat. So yeah, that is Frost Naguas, another W. Perilous Moons, this is the mid game, basically. You only need 48 Slayer to access it, and it's not that hard because Leagues has increased XP rates. Then the other requirements are like level 20. You'll get this from like Varrock Museum, or just like any quest that gives you any amount of XP will just get you to level 20, or if you spend like 7 minutes doing the thing, you'll get to level 20. Doing this quest is very essential. Not only does it offer you a lot of XP, but you get access to the Moons of Peril, which are 3 bosses within Camtorum, I think, or it's called Naputzil, something like that, is the dungeon. You get these three bosses, and they can actually give you armor sets. These armor sets, in my opinion, we don't know yet. We don't know all the relics where they're about to start announcing them. We don't know all the different combat masteries and system that will go along with that. But I am willing to bet that these set effects are going to be amplified in Leagues. The Eclipse set burns whatever you're hitting, and you can consume all the burn damage to deal like a huge burst. And it's a 3-tick range weapon. This is very good for things like Coliseum and generally whatever you're ranging before you get your higher tier weapons. The Blood Moon set is basically a beefed up Glacial Tumulti, like the Crush Hammer things, except you get like the Maquados. With the Blood Moon effect, you hit every 4 ticks like a whip, but you have a chance of each of your little bopper hits to speed up your next attack by 1 game tick. This means that if you have this full set, your combat XP at Naguas is going to go through the roof, especially if you're doing things like the Hughie Kodo, because it also has an XP bonus. I forgot to mention, like, there's just so many positives to Varlamore. Frost Naguas, not Frost Naguas? No. The Sulfur Naguas, they actually have an XP bonus attached to them. So when you are killing them, they actually give you bonus XP on top of what you would already receive. This will also be amplified in leagues, no doubt. And then the Blue Moon set from Perilous Moons is just kind of neat. It's like its special effect is not really like so amazing, but it does have 1% magic damage bonus, I believe, on the armor pieces. So it is basically your, let me verify that actually. Yeah, you get 1% for each Blue Moon piece. It is basically your best in slot mage equipment before Verdus, which is the best in every region apart from Kourend. So you're gonna want this as your in-between for mage. It's all available here within this like 1 dungeon. So this is the thing to camp. This is the thing to work towards to when your combat skills get good enough. All right, so another massive W there. Next to Perilous Moons is the city of Camtorum. And Camtorum offers you things like a pickaxe shop, where you could buy all your pickaxes up to rune, so you don't need Falador or any other pickaxe shop. They also offer you a mining activity for calcified rocks, in which you can get blessed bone shards, so that's banked prayer XP. It's also very good. And then beyond that, we have Hunter's Rumors, which is like the entire savannah, and then whatever else you could hunt in the world map. These Hunter Rumors are a great way for you to train up Hunter in Varlamore, so you don't have to do like Bird's Nest and Fossil Island or regular Hunter activities. But that is not why Hunter Rumors are especially good. They're really good because you get access to the loot, which is Hunter's loot sack, and these are just busted for Iron Men. You get basic and adept ones in the beginning, which don't give you that many things. They give you some food that you can cook, and they give you some logs, notably if you're going to be doing, if the Desert Treasure quest is not unlocked, then we'll need magic logs, but I imagine that it will be unlocked, so we probably won't need it. But it's not the basic sacks you want to look for, it's the expert and master sacks. These things give you bird nests for Cerebrus if you want to make him. They give you raw moonlight antelope, which is, it heals you 26, I think, over a little bit of time, so really good food. You get things called sun-kissed bones, which are prayer XP effectively. They can get broken down into blessed shards, I think, or something like that. You can also get herbs from these sacks, which is very cool. It's just like passive banking your other skills for resources. You don't have to go get them on your own. They just like come to you through training Hunter. Very massive. And then you also get logs. Oh, the other thing is with these sacks, you get blessed bone shards. So another way to bank more prayer XP. Also going to be huge. You'll basically not have to worry about prayer. The only thing that you will need to train prayer in Varlamore will be Sunfire Splinters. And I strongly recommend that you learn how to do wave 1 at least of Colosseum. It's not that difficult to learn, but when you get to like the mid combat stats like level 70s, you'll probably be able to consistently do wave 1 of Colosseum. You'll get a lot of Sunfire Splinters, and then you'll be able to get a lot of prayer XP as well if you are down bad for that. So yeah, the Hunter loot sacks are pretty goated. You get a lot of stuff from them. Then you can also get a little pet, which is nice. And then you also have Mastering Mixology, which is a brand new herblore minigame in Varlamore. You can get in a secondary ingredient from it called Aldarium. And hopefully they buff it with the minigame point system that leagues get, so you get like increased XP rates, you get increased drop rates, and then you also had increased minigame points depending on your relic tier in the last leagues. Hopefully we get that again. And then you can also purchase Aldarium through Master Mixology. It lets you make 2 potions, the goading potions, which will let you AFK for like 10 minutes or something like that, 5 to 10 minutes. I think it's 5 minutes. Let you AFK anywhere, so this could be really good if you need to do something, and then you have like single way monsters coming at you, like if it's crabs or something like that. And then the Prayer Regeneration Potion, which basically you could think of it as like double the amount of prayer restore you have over time. It's very good. It's just like a very chill prayer enhance from Chambers of Xerix, where you're slowly creeping up and increasing your prayer regeneration, and it lasts like 8 minutes per dose. So you can get Aldarium, you can make these potions. However, to make these potions, you do need the Huasca seeds, and one of the ways to get the seeds, I'm sure that there's another way, I can't remember off the top of my head, but one that I can think of is by killing the Hughie Kodo, which is a dragon. This, I believe, would be a candidate for an Echo Boss. Echo Bosses in the new League system are basically the second best in slot weapon tiers that can be dropped by like one specific monster per region. We don't know which ones they are. We know that the desert will have Calphite Queen as one of these monsters that have like these extra mechanics that can drop these special items. In my opinion, I feel like it's either going to be Hughie Kodo or Amaxiato for the Echo Boss of this region, but we'll have to see as it gets revealed. So the Hughie Kodo, when you get the Glacial Tumulty or the Blood Moon set, this thing has an XP bonus of plus 60%. So your combat training is going to go through the roof over here. It's going to be absolutely massive. And you get loot along the way. So it's just W's all around. This thing also drops Sunfire Splinters. So if you did want to train your prayer somewhere, there you go. There's the second component that you need, and you will get Sunfire Splinters. The things that are noteworthy from this boss is that it drops the new Dragon Hunter wand, which is a Dragon Bane weapon. So you don't need to get like the do you need Fremnik? You need like 2 regions, I think, to make the Dragon Hunter lance, and you also need chambers if you want the Dragon Hunter crossbow. And here you could get the Dragon Hunter wand if you wanted the Dragon Bane weapon. Then you also have Tome of Earth, which enhances your Earth spells. Maybe this could be useful in fringe cases. You also get access to the Hughie Kodo hides, and the hides, they create range armor, which is marginally better for prayer bonus, but it has equivalent stats otherwise to Blessed D hide. So you don't have to do like Clue Scrolls or make your own Black Dragon hide. You could just come here. However, you will need like high 80s in crafting, I think, in order to actually make the armor itself. You also get access to a bunch of seeds, so this is really great if you like things like farming, or you are relying on farming for all of your herblore needs. It also drops the Huasca seeds, which are used in tandem with Aldarium to make your potions that were listed prior. Okay, and then they also drop like typical stuff. You get Dragon Bones, which is really cool. Raw Sharks, different like Iron Man-y ingredients. Cool stuff. Nothing really too noteworthy otherwise. If you unlock Kandarin, I don't think you can get this just by picking Varlamore, but in the future, if you plan on picking Kandarin after Varlamore, you could potentially make the Hunter's Sunlight Crossbow, which is a very fast range weapon. Maybe that gets a huge benefit from leagues. We don't know yet, but this is a potential sleeper for a goated weapon, but we don't know. And the other thing you can get access to is Moonlight Moth Mix if you pick Kandarin after Varlamore, because you'll get access to Kebets. Then you'll be able to make this mix. It is effectively prayer potions, except it always restores 22 prayer points per dose, regardless of your prayer level. So that's also cool. Those are all the positives that I can think of specifically for Varlamore. My route that I plan on going for here is getting, if fire sale is a thing, so unlimited cash in leagues, I'll probably be getting full obsidian with like obsidian weapons and stuff, and doing hunter rumors as well for prayer and general food or whatever else comes from those pouches. Then I'll be going to Perilous Moons, getting the Sulfur Blades. Then I'll be taking the Sulfur Blades to Frost Naguas so that I get the double hit benefit, and then be getting the Glacial Tumulty, the crush version of Sulfur Blades, going into Perilous Moons with those weapons, getting all the Perilous Moons gear, and then either unlocking another region or going to Vardorvis or the Colosseum, something like that. I just think this region has an incredible amount of benefit. All the steps from like early game to mid game, Hunter's Rumors are ridiculous for Iron Man. The Perilous Moon sets are probably going to be completely beefed up with all the stuff that's going to be part of leagues in the combat mastery system. We don't know yet for sure. I'll let you guys know when we find out, but yeah, it just has so many things going for it. I think it is a if not like no-brainer, it is a super high contender for one of the best first choices, and I will be picking it for my account. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Where are you guys going for leagues? Have you thought about what region you want to pick? We'll be also going over all the relics as they get released, so expect videos on that. And then I plan on streaming leagues when it comes out on November 27th, but I might be a day late because it is Thanksgiving in the US. It's really unfortunate that they decided to release leagues on Thanksgiving in the US. They could have just made it one day later, but you know, it is what it is. So it do be like that at times. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have fun. Leagues is going to be super hype. Highly recommend it if you haven't tried it before. It's a great opportunity to learn new things, like try out different monsters. You'll have things like last recall, so your commute time is going to be really shortened for if you die and have to do like the boss again, that sort of thing. It's going to be really good. So yeah, I had a blast. I'm looking forward to it. Hope you guys do as well. See you later.